Hi everyone, I'm John from Paralect, and I'm here today with a special guest, Alex Shkor, who is the first CTO and co-founder of Paralect, as well as an advisor to the Paralect Accelerator program and the founder of the DEIP Creator Economy Protocol and Vedai, an income sharing agreement platform for aspiring IT professionals. Did I cover everything that you're working on right now, Alex?
Yeah, it's enough. Like we're working on a couple of more projects, but these are enough. These are enough.
All right. So can you fill us in a little bit on the latest news from either DEIP or Vedai? Because I read a couple months ago that DEIP had a new funding round, and you guys are eyeing up some new campaigns, new ideas.
Yeah. So we recently raised 2 million of a new funding round for DEIP. We also closed $500,000 for Vedai. It's like not yet announced, so we just keep it like we just don't bother actually about announcements of the rounds. We just don't think it's that special,
Right.
But yeah, it's still very important milestone. So for us, for DEIP, and we're already expanding a lot, because we have such a broad vision and such a, but in same times very specific what we want to achieve. DEIP is a protocol. It's not it's not a regular company. It's protocol. It means there will be a network, and a network, it means it's ecosystem of players, of businesses, and so on. And we need to enable these businesses to build on top of our network, to build on top of this protocol, other protocols to be able to join, and so on. So now we're structuring different programs, like grant programs, investment programs, which we will be funding from our next round and also from the token side of DEIP network. So there will be basically, you can think about the network as a new virtual government to be formed, and the money to be created. And there's a treasury which needs to be allocated for different purposes, let's say different ministries for development of the network, for educational facilities, for startup builders programs, and so on. So and we're now working mostly on this thing, and we're preparing for our TGE. It's basically when we will release the token. It's scheduled for November 11th of November. So it's already rather soon, and this is also a very important milestone, because it's not only will give us additional funding, but it also will make our currency, our cryptocurrency available on the secondary market and this is basically will be acceleration for the ecosystem, for the business, and also will enable us to incubate and launch more projects within an ecosystem and fund these projects.
Cool. So I first talked with you about DEIP a couple of years ago, and then the project kind of went into stealth mode for a little bit. Were there some regulatory issues, or were you guys just sort of waiting for the market conditions to be right for a bigger launch?
Yeah. So these all these things together, besides market condition, we during this it's called bull market and bear market, actually. So in this and during bear market, during crypto winter, there's not much need to promote project and so on if it's still in the development stage. So we just were focused on building stuff. We've built a lot of things, and now we about to launch them, and this is I think productive use of time. So when it's not efficient to do marketing, you don't do this. turn into stealth mode. So we also had to figure out what our go-to-market. It's still very hard, like to have your go-to-market or and find your protocol market fit. It's actually a new term, protocol market fit. It's very different from product market fit.
Protocol market fit. Got it.
Yeah. So, and like we were able to find it. So we kind of did a pivot, but I would say it's not even a pivot. It's like when you have like a specific use case and then you expand a vision and take a look what is a universal infrastructure for creation of these use cases and what is a universal problem. And first focusing on science allowed us to understand what is a common problem in creator economy. And science is like very well structured, very well like kind of funded as well, but still with huge problems and because of misalignments of incentives. So we were able to craft a protocol which universally fits for any industry in creator economy and which focuses on creators. So this is like we found out like this is the biggest design principle for new economy. Its biggest difference, which needs to be put in mind, like when you design like economic model for any new industry, is unlike with the current economic model where the capital in the center of the model, we put a creator in the center of the model.
It sounds fascinating, and I'm excited to talk more about the creator economy and sort of Web3. But first, I want to give some people a little bit of background on you because Paralect has grown up to almost 150 people now, and a lot of those new people, they've heard legends about Alex Shkor and Paralect. So I want to dive into your history here for a minute, and then we'll talk a little bit more about Vedai and other options in the creator economy later. So you made the transition over the last like 4 or 5 years from CTO here at Paralect to the founder of DEIP. And what were some highlights for you from that progression? What sort of things did you learn about yourself as maybe an engineer and a leader at Paralect that allowed you to take that step?
So I always had like this idea in mind to lead either a company or department and something like this. I always had these ambitions. But what I learned like from this path like is that I realized a couple of things. I think I realized what's required to be successful, like with really high probability. So basically like a playbook of how to be successful founder and co-founder. And also realized how difficult it is like from this journey. I started to appreciate even more what Dima did, like, and what he's still doing, like, in his efforts. Yeah, so I basically realized that in order to feel happy about what you're doing, like, and be successful, which is kind of the same thing, you have to find your mission first, and at least you have to be going into direction of your mission, and or even not, if not going, at least like I don't know, like climbing, if not climbing, at least laying in the direction of your mission. So you need to be at least targeted to this thing, and like, and when you do know it, or at least when you do know like that you are advancing towards it, you kind of, it doesn't anymore matter what like you're exactly building, because you're building anyway into direction of your mission, and you will be pivoting to that mission. Like when you get closer, you will gain more details, and like you just need to start, like you just need to start this journey, start a business, start a protocol, start a non-profit, whatever, you name it, like start a project which you will feel responsible for, you will feel ownership, and just go towards this point in space-time.
Right on. And from my understanding of your time at Paralect, you were CTO here, but you also functioned as basically CTO for a lot of the projects that Paralect was working for clients. And a lot of those products had less technical founders. That's why they came to Paralect. That's why they came to you and DEMA to execute the engineering side. So I'm curious what you noticed being a founder from a technical side. What were some of the gaps that you felt you needed to fill in, or maybe there were ways that you were immediately in a better position to lead DEIP and Vedai because of your technical background?
Yeah, I think like this is the last one option because, but just because we have like very deep tech product. So I think like if when you have like technical background, you have an advantage as a CEO and founder of technical like deep tech projects, deep tech startups. But I also do appreciate the other skills like which I kind of gained even more. But because like when I was CTO in Paralect, I also was doing a lot of biz dev, talking to customers. So I did pick up this skill even way before DEIP, and that's why like I think like I realized how important it is, and I always knew how important it is, but I also realized that sometimes like not having a technical skill can be an advantage. So you do not like do not spend your capacity on things you have to delegate, because like in our company, Igor is CTO and he's like making most of decisions on the tech, and I'm making decisions on the vision, and Alex is making some decisions like on architecture. But like we like most of the times we make like we find a consensus. Actually, like I think all the time we find a consensus. But this segregation of responsibilities, when you have like so T-shaped people in every position, sometimes we feel it's a blessing, but sometimes we feel like it's hard because like you have so many options whom you can give the task, and it will be performed really well.
Let's talk a little bit about Web3 tech and I guess blockchain tech as well. Maybe start with just what's the difference there. It seems like Web3 is more of a buzzword now than blockchain was, and blockchain was a few years ago. So where's the dividing line? Do they sustain each other? Define
so I think like just Web3 is a better name for what was happening as a blockchain before. So and blockchain like became rather toxic because of 2017. So but Web3 actually like is not only better but also more correct. Imagine that Web1 was companies are producing content and selling this content. Web2 is users are producing producing content, but companies are benefiting and capturing the value from this content. Web3 is users are producing content, users are being rewarded for this, not companies. Like this is like what is Web3, and this is like actually why we think is the main kind of aim for Web3 is to enable decentralized creator economies. This is like the main thing which Web3 will give to the world, and that's why we kind of realized we in the epicenter of these things happening in the world.
Yeah, and it sounds exciting, and that's good to understand. How those things are related, and just for people that aren't as closely involved. Maybe for founders or creative people or even engineers, like here at Paralect, I had an interview with Nikita Solosnyuk, and he talked about his interest in blockchain, which is and crypto, and Web3, which was relatively young. I think he's only been like into it for a year and a half or something like that. So for people like that who might consider building a product or a company or working for a product or a company in the Web3 space, what advice could you give them for maybe getting into it? What are some things to look out for? What are some opportunities?
May I have a product placement here?
Sure, sure.
So, like the best option how to get to the Web3 industry is to join Web3 Academy, either as a mentor or a student. Web3 Academy is a bootcamp we are launching first in Warsaw together with Paralect. Paralect is a main partner for this initiative, but they're also near protocol, which kind of already with us. So we just like have to sign some agreements, the same as Paralect, but there's already a lot of things we're doing together, and both with Paralect and with Near. So Paralect is a crucial partner for Web3 Academy because of the experience with Startup Summer. I believe that this is like very valuable thing, like what guys did with Startup Summer, and like they just brought it to a totally new level. And I think we can scale it and like kind of scale it and get some more value for Paralect as well for these. And we will be providing for this Web3 Academy also our expertise. I will be lecturing there as well. Yegor, our CTO, will be lecturing. Alexei will be lecturing as well. Alexei used to be lecturing blockchain in Belarusian university, and now we like wanna squeeze all this experience into this like rather short bootcamp program, which just it will be just 3 months. We now target this period, and with also release of a product in the end of these courses. And I think this will be the best option for any developer to quickly onboard to Web3 space. We also will be helping to get a job among one of our partners, like also from Web3 space.
Besides what you're building at DEIP and Vedai and the Web3 Academy, what excites you from sort of current Web3 products? And by this, I mean, I see a lot of JPGs of rocks on a blockchain, and I feel like that's not like a really impactful application of this technology. Like the NFT thing doesn't make much sense to me. What excites you? There's got to be something more than this.
Yeah, what is GPG?
Like the little pictures of rocks that are being sold as NFTs on
JPEG. I see. Yeah. So like this is the thing. So actually, the industry is very special. Let's put it like this. There's like the industry is very special. So it's very polarized. On one side, we have like those who speculate a lot and trade and making money in the industry, and on the other side, there's like true builders, like innovators, inventors, and so on. And I think like it's still useful for this, like that this NFT thing did take off, and there's a lot of like low quality assets, but it's still kind of brings new people to the industry. People explore the industry, they come up with more meaningful use cases. Let's put it like this. You can imagine NFT is a kind of how to say a box. I don't know, like kind of a box, and in the box you have a payload, and box is in virtual world. So, and you can put into this box anything from either virtual world, but also from the real world. It's harder to put it from real world because, let's put like this, there's like some unstable connection with the real world from virtual world. And this is like a hard thing, how to attach this real value to this box, how to put it there. And then you can operate with this box with so many, like this virtual jurisdiction is very good already with working with these boxes. They can do like anything with these boxes, things which you cannot even imagine. They can like fractionalize it, put it on a smart contract. Like you can borrow stable coins by collateralizing these boxes, like with the assets inside it. There's like, imagine this is like hyper efficient ecosystem which can operate like with these like assets, like tokenized assets really well. It just don't have this asset yet. It's just not yet there. It's like, and that's why it has to work with what it has. And what it has is just like some purely virtual things like cryptocurrencies and NFTs of JPEG, like which has no regulation whatsoever in the real world. And but this is the reason why they first to take off in this virtual jurisdiction, because they don't have the strings attached to it. Like, but once we have this new class of assets on the chain, we will be able to use all these beautiful technologies built like in this virtual world for the real assets. And that's what we're doing. We put in intangible assets on the chain in these boxes. And this asset can be anything. It can be like movie scripts, it could be source code, it could be inventions, and it could be scientific research, it could be educational curriculum, it could be a creator itself, it could be a teacher. So because it's also like something which provides like intangible assets for these worlds and creates intangible assets. So that's why it's so powerful, and that's why we're so excited about what we're building.
All right. I look forward to, I guess, seeing more, I don't know if useful, I don't know, more logical applications of this idea, because the NFTs that are out there right now, it seems silly. I don't know.
Yeah. So yeah, take an example of what we're building with Vedai. We have tokenized an income share agreement. So basically, income share agreements is a agreement between like bootcamp, let's say, and students. That student will get an education for free and then will pay 50% of his or her salary for a period of time, but not more, let's say, than 2x of the cost of the course itself and of the program. And this agreement can be put as on an NFT. It not only becomes a tradable asset. It not only allows to distribute curation fee, because like with the NFT you can set a curation fee, which means that every time the asset is transferred or sold, the share of this transaction goes to the originator or like actually to curator. And curator can be a creator, or curator can be like multiple, like it can be DAO of decentralized autonomous organization of multiple people. There, it could be like anything, like any model of distribution of these royalties. And this by itself, it's already, this is what were not possible before blockchain, before NFT. Why? Because like it's impossible to track every transactions with all the assets internationally in real time. With NFTs, it becomes possible. And this is like actually really, really powerful technology. It just needs to be applied in a right industry for the right assets. And ISAs are such assets because this is basically not only gives ability to trade this asset on secondary market and increase liquidity and actually bring in more capital to education industry, it also allows to split this asset, fractionalize it, and tokenize like NFT itself, and split the ownership between different stakeholders. Because like imagine if a student has this like tokenized NFT, and the owners of this NFT, not only bootcamp, but also all the mentors, all the teachers in this bootcamp own a fraction of it. Future employer might own a fraction by investing on a secondary market, on a primary market to these assets. Also, your friends might even own part of it because they can invest, or you can just give them this part of, and they will be kind of your shield team, which will be supporting you even more. You know, like if we just add these additional incentives, it can really change a lot. And this is just the beginning, because like we're doing this not just because we wanna put these assets on chain, but also because we want to start gathering data about the quality of these assets and basically have a transparent distribution of the quality of the assets on the chain. So you will know better what's the quality of education in any bootcamp. It will be transparent index which will be showcasing what is the quality and in specific context. So this is it's more long-term vision, but it just give you idea why it's important, why it's important to adopt this technology.
Yeah, I think this would be a good time to draw back and take sort of a high-level view of Vedai, because you mentioned how it works down at the individual asset level. Vedai and the first boot camp. So you basically, from the website and from my understanding, you have two groups of people. You have the students that will study at the Web3 Academy, and you have investors who will buy shares in this income share agreement. So let's just look at it from an investor perspective first. If I wanted to say I wanted to make a micro investment in this year's Web3 Academy, I've got 10 grand. I say, I know Alex, I know Paralect, I know these guys will do a good job with this boot camp. Mm-hmm. Would I be investing in some sort of rolled up fund of all 20 students? Would I have to pick one student that I would invest in? How do you see it working?
Yeah, so the first version will be launched where you invest into this joint fund. Mm-hmm. It's because of more simplicity of this of the thing. But then you in future will launch also peer-to-peer investment, so you'll be able to invest directly. But now it's just the whole fund. It also what it gives not only simplicity, so you just this is a good company, Paralect, they have a good track record, or it's Vedai or it's Web3 Academy, whatever. You invest, you know that you will get some returns, and average returns for ISA agreements is 15% per year. So it's quite moderate. In Web3 it will be higher, but not much higher. That means that these are investment not just for these are not the best investment if you want to make 10x and or something like this. These are more investment, more conservative, but also these are investment which very capital efficient, because you can invest a lot of capital into specific industry, and this industry will not only basically, if you invest into specific industry like Web3, you're benefiting from creating more developers, more talent in this industry. And this is a side effect. And this is why we think it's our hypothesis that some companies will be investing into the batches just because they want to get more talent in their industry. And these financial returns will not matter just much for them, but still it's good to have your money back, and they will have their money back with some surplus. For some students, we think there will be grants program, so it also will be additional competition between students, but also it's ability to people who really, really talented to get these things for free or half free, something like this, without this additional liability. The idea is that we're building infrastructure for bringing more capital to the education industry. We want to make education, high quality education, accessible to anyone. So it's really important to build efficient funding mechanism for this. And I think once it's done and once Vedai is kind of getting bigger market share, in next advancing to the next stages, it will enable some most talented teachers, best teachers, to be working not even for salary but for a share of these things, of these tokenized ISAs, and will effectively make teachers one of the most wealthy classes of people in the world. So this is and because they deserve it, so the teachers deserve it. So this is very important thing for the world to disseminate knowledge and to basically give education to next generations and make sure that these knowledge which were being developed and accumulated by our society for these thousands of years will not be lost.
Yeah, and this model of having coding boot camps and having an ISA funding structure isn't that unusual. It's been done with traditional financial mechanisms in a couple different places in the US. A couple different companies have it. I can't remember the most famous one's name right now.
Lambda School.
Yeah, Lambda School. But you guys are taking that same sort of approach, but using Web3 infrastructure to make it happen, make it more efficient.
The thing is that this ISA is not a new thing. It's already been for a while. It's just now it's become very popular now, especially in USA. But the thing is that we provide this tool for the bootcamps for free, and they can start using it for free, and it's not only better than anything on the market, it's also free for them. And it's will allow to transition to this new, more efficient financial strategies, financial funding models for the bootcamps on massive scale. So this is an idea, and the tool itself is open source. The code base, some code base, not all code base of Vedai, but some code base of Vedai is open source. And why we can allow ourselves to do this, because you might ask how we will make money, is because we are more interested in getting the network growing, and we also have additional incentive from the token side, but also there's ability, once we have this big market on the network with Vedai platform, there will be so many options how we can introduce some business model, additional analytics, predictions, whatever. So there's so many things you can do, and that's why I think it's not very important to think about how to earn money and start charging people with some subscription fees and so on. I think it matters only to validate their commitment. This is the only value of people paying you money in Web3 world, at least.
Yeah, and it also be beneficial to build that community first, because without the community of students and investors and boot camps running on the actual protocol, you can't do very much. Let's talk quickly about the students that you're looking for at the Web3 Academy and maybe in other boot camps that are going to come after that. Who are your ideal candidates? What kind of experience do they already have in coding? And just tell us about who you're looking for.
Oh, yeah, it's a hard question. So it's better to address this question, I think, to Julia, who is leading Vedai and Web3 Academy right now. Yeah, so if you're a developer in Warsaw, if you're an engineer, if you're a student of last course in university, in some technical university, so you are as a target audience, and you might have a chance to get a ticket to Web3 world, fast track ticket, fast track.
All right. Well, I'm sure we're going to tell everybody much more about that as we get closer to opening up applications and as you guys build out the launch. I want to touch briefly on Paralect Accelerator program, because you're an advisor to that. And that is part of Paralect's path to becoming a venture studio and having more of a partnership relationship with more founders around the world rather than a client agency relationship. What excites you about this transformation, and how do you see yourself helping these founders from the accelerator succeed with the products that they build in the accelerator?
Yeah. So first of all, I think it's an incredibly good idea. I think it came to many heads simultaneously. So and we were discussing it for a while as well, and the foundations, basically the motivation, is very clear. As I said, like to become a partner, to basically transform a business model, to make it like more, also with more aligned incentives with all the stakeholders who are working on building these products. And I think Paralect already did a great job on starting Accelerator. Like Igor was really focused on this thing, and I think the next batch will be even more exciting. I think we will have some partnership also for the next batch, so we're at least discussing it already with guys, and we will see how we can help with this. So I think if I think we let's put it like this. So once we find the model, we will know better how we will be helping not only accelerator but also the founders from the accelerator.
For sure. Well, we're looking. Both of the products will be launching in just a few days' time, if they've not launched already by the time we publish this video. So,
Really?
good luck.
Congrats. Yeah.
So they're both very exciting, and thank you for your involvement and all the ideas that you probably put towards making the first batch of the accelerator a thing. Let's circle back real quick to what's upcoming with Vedai. Is there a timeline already in place for applications and the classes? What's the upcoming events going to be like?
Yeah, so we will announce Web3 Academy, which will be operated on Vedai platform. We'll announce it, I think, on October 1st. There will be an event in Warsaw, Web3 Talks. So I encourage everyone to come. Like it will be a really cool one. Our CTO will be we will be sharing a story about how he became Web3 developer. It's actually a very fun one. It's he has like a lot of fun moments in his life. Yeah, about his like career experience, and also Alexi will be explaining more what's the Web3. So I think it's just like very good introductory like gathering and event for those who wanna get to the Web3 world or just curious. It's just like it's low hanging fruit. Like it's not much time needs to be spent to visit this event.
Yeah. Sure. All right. So that'll be October 1st, you said?
Yeah, that's right.
So in Warsaw. So get there if you are there in Poland and meet the team, hear about Vedai and the winter boot camp. It's going to be this winter, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And are there any other upcoming important pieces of news that you want to share before we wrap this up?
I think that's pretty much it. So just like if you're curious about what we're building, just follow us on any of social networks, Vedai or DEIP. If you want to follow on everything what we're building, all the projects, there is like a separate thing for this. It's called Collective Intelligence Labs. It's basically decentralized incubator which incubated all the projects we have. We can decided to have it like as a it's kind of like it's not it's very loosely connected to the projects, but it's the brand which also lay out the vision in why we're building, like how all these pieces connected, why Vedai, why DEIP, why other projects. We also have like some others there. So we will be also looking for team members there. So if you have some friends who want to join either Paralect or one of our company, also feel free to introduce these people to us.
Yeah, awesome. And the last question I had real quick before we get kicked out of this meeting room, how can investors get, if they want to get in on this first round of the Web3 Academy in Vedai? Is there a minimum? Is there a maximum? What is the process for becoming an investor in this ISA program?
Yeah, I think it's still to be determined, but it will be available for anyone. It will be a public one, and the process is still to be determined. I think there will be, if there will be a minimum, it will be still rather small amount, so that anyone can participate. Yeah, but I think it will be like really fast sale because of some partners. So yeah, just keep an eye on it. And yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Alex, for taking some time to talk with us about all things Web3, DEIP, Vedai, your history at Paralect. It's been really great to catch up with you, and I hope that I can see you again and we can catch up in person, either in Warsaw or here in the future.
In the future, yeah. Yeah, looking forward seeing you, like, and shaking your hand, like we haven't done it for a while.
Yeah. All right. Have a great week. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you too. Cheers.